Hi everyone, Angela here. Today we are going to do some Brazil Philodendron cuttings. Sorry, that took me a minute to get it all out. Anyways, I figured I have a couple tendrils that are just a little bit too long, and I want to really make sure that this plant grows nice and big and bushy up top before it starts trailing anymore. And then I thought I could give you guys a couple good tips to having some really awesome success with water propagation. So here we go. Okay, so like I said, I love this plant. This is a Brasil Philodendron, and it has such great variegation. Some of my leaves are almost half and half, and then I actually have a few that are almost completely just like the lemon lime color, which I really love. And so what I really like about this plant, I've had it for so long, and it's starting to trail, and it's looking pretty good. It looks really good on camera. But I feel like a little bit like up close and personal, it doesn't look as thick and full and bushy as I'd like. I know a lot of these trailing plants do a lot better when you let them climb up on something, but I really want this one. It's in my bathroom, and it's in a north-facing window over my bathtub, and so I really want it to be trailing. But I have this one tendril here that is so long, and so anyways, we're gonna cut it off. And I thought, well, I might as well do it with you guys, and I'll tell you a little bit about what I do. So if you've picked, okay, there's actually a couple of reasons why you might propagate. If you're new to this, this is something you need to really consider doing. I didn't do it for the first couple of years that I was into plants, and now I've learned, like, I love it, and I'm always propagating something. I've got like 8 different things in the other room. But what I like about it is that if you cut something off of your plant, it sounds so scary, but it actually helps the plant continue with new growth. So it kind of gives it a little boost, a little bit of energy. But then you also have all of these extra leaves that can turn into plants of their own. And so you kind of like it's the gift that keeps on giving, right? So anyways, when you choose how you want to propagate your plant, and I mean that by like which tendrils do you want to cut off, what you'll want to do is make sure that, see if you can see that, you always want at least one leaf on the vine, okay? So like, I don't know why, but this vine doesn't have a leaf at the first notch. And so this is the very first leaf here. So I'm going to leave that one, and I'm going to cut right between it. And I'll show you guys close up here in a second. But that way it has one leaf on that vine so that it can continue to grow off of that point. So then I have my cut here, and you guys have probably seen a million videos, and everyone tells you like where the leaf meets the vine is where the node is, right? Well, that's the important part. That's where you're going to get your roots. And so I'll see if you can see that. This guy already has some roots coming off. And because it's in my bathroom where there's high humidity, like towards the end of this little vine, you can see, maybe you can't, some of these roots are like growing. Seriously. Isn't that awesome? So anyways, I got a lot of leaves here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go between each of the leaves and cut there. So like you can see, snip. And so we'll be left with like a T in the road, right? That's going to be the shape that we're going to propagate from. So I'm going to do that all the way through. And if there's a long section that doesn't have a leaf, which I don't really have any here, I'll cut off a little bit of that extra stuff so that I don't have super long pieces. Okay, so we're here at the end of the vine, and you can see, so it came off this way. It has a leaf, and then it has where a new leaf is starting. I'm not going to cut at this node, even though this new leaf already has roots. How crazy is that, huh? But I'm just going to let this whole piece be and let it do its thing. I love how it comes in kind of peachy, and then eventually it just turns to that lemon lime. It's so pretty. Anyway, so now I have, you can see here, all of my cuttings, and there's kind of like the jury's kind of out, okay, on how some people like to do when you're doing water propagation. And I almost always water propagate. It's so much easier this way for me, and I like seeing the roots grow. Like, I check on them every day. I do dishes, and I look at all of my roots that are growing, because all of my most of the things that I'm propagating are at my kitchen sink. The kitchen window. So anyways, I have this cute little vase that I got actually at our wedding many years ago. And today we're going to use rooting hormone. So not everybody does this, and actually on 90% of the things that I root in water, I don't use it, but there are plenty of people that do, so I thought I would show you guys how to do that. Now the idea behind this is providing nutrients to the plant. That's it, simple. It's like food, right? So what you would do then is open it up. You can see it's just a white powder, super simple. You're gonna dip the cutting, which is kind of wet because I just cut it, dip it in, and then tap it off because you don't want any excess. And then you would set it in. So it's that simple. If there is a leaf like this that has any kind of extra plant debris on it, you want to take that off because that's just going to kind of decay in the water, and it's going to produce microorganisms, yes, that you don't want. The reason that you can propagate in water is because the water and the soil, or that I should say the reason it's easier to propagate in water is because there's a lack of microorganisms. When you have the soil, your plants it's like a breeding ground basically, right? And so your plant is going to compete with those microorganisms, and that's why you'll have less of a success rate. So I've read. Anyways, keep the water clean, switch it out every couple of days, and you should be easy breezy. I expect to have, since some of these already have roots, right, I expect to have these rooted about 2 inches long within just a couple of weeks. I'll give you guys an update, but I have 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12. I have at least, I'd say 3 or 4 plants that are going to come from this, because I'll put 3 or 4 cuttings in a little pot to make separate plants. So this is the first time I've propagated this Brazil, so I'm really excited. And the leaves aren't huge, but they're a good size, and so I think it's gonna end up looking really great. And I'm not sure where I'm gonna put this plant or these new plant babies. They'll probably be Christmas gifts. Anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned a few things. If you have questions, always comment below. I take the time to respond to everybody. My channel's not super big yet, so I wanna make a connection with you and help you out with any of the questions you might have. And of course, if there's anything you guys need from me, just let me know, okay? Have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.